All right, what's going on, friends? In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to level your deck on your Cub Cadet. This is the RZT SX. It has a steering wheel on it, so if you have the Cub Cadet, it looks similar to this. It should be the exact same way, probably, as I'm going to show you. Now, this is not the stamped deck. This is the fabricated deck. All right, I'm going to show you some of the tools you're going to need to do this. I got a 3/4 inch wrench. And I have an adjustable wrench. You could probably just use 2 3/4 inch wrenches if you want. Oh, here's another 3/4 inch wrench. I have a 9/16 inch socket, and I have a little extension on here. You might not have to have that extension, but might make it easier. And I'm just going to show you that with this little level, what I found out on this deck. Probably should have a tape measure, and then something so you can see better, a light. And I also made up this little tiny ruler, and I have marks on the end of it. It might be nice just to have marks all the way around it. I might do that, but I'm going to show you what I have that for. And you might want to have an air compressor or something just to put some air in your tires. All right, just follow along. All right, first thing you're going to want to do for safety is to go disconnect both of your spark plugs. You don't want this thing starting up and
chopping one of your hands off.
So just go to the back of the lawnmower. And right here is a spark plug. So I'm going to disconnect that one. Probably easier if you don't have a camera in your hand. That's disconnected. And just go around to the other side. There should be another one right here. There we go. Disconnect that one. Now, there should be no chance of this thing starting up. The next thing I'm going to do is check my tires. Now, just look on the tire, and I'll tell you what these tires say. They do say, 10 PSI. It says right here on the side of the tire, 10 PSI. That's what we're going to put in here. And the front tires are 20 PSI. All right, let me go around, and I'm going to get that done, and then I'll move on to the next step. It's really important to keep the correct pressure in your tires if you want your deck to stay nice and level. Here, I'll show you right here off of this. Looks like it's the bottom's at like almost about 3 1/4. Put the correct pressure in here. See how much different it makes it. That should be good, I think. Wow, that went up a lot. All right, that's about 20 pounds. All right, first I'm going to show you how to level your deck from the right side to the left side of the deck. All right, first thing we're going to do is they want you to get your blades perpendicular to the mower. So the mower is this, like the mower is sitting like this, and I want my blades to be this way. I come over on this side because it's a lot easier to show you, and then they want you to measure right here the tip of this cutting blade. And I'm going to pull this back just a little bit because it's going to be easier. And then that's what they want you to measure, which it looks like mine is 3 5/8. Now, another thing is, this would be also a lot easier if you had the fancy little measuring tool to measure. And I'll put one here on the screen that you could order. I probably should just order one myself so you could show you guys how to use them. It's probably not that hard to use, but they make a nice tool that you can measure up under your deck to measure how high your blades are. And I do have mine on like number 6. I don't really think it matters where you put this. It does say in the manual to put it somewhere in the middle. Then they want you to go on the other side and do the same thing. Take this blade and make sure it is perpendicular, which is hard for me to show you that. Perpendicular under there. Now, this is what I did to measure that. I kind of felt under there, like right here is where my cutting spot's at. Now, if you want to get all crazy, you could take your tape measure up there measure up and see how high that goes. It looks like I'm just maybe a little bit more than a half an inch till I hit that cutting blade. So I could measure this. It looks like, yeah, I'm probably about right around 3.5 inches. The other side was 3 5/8 of an inch. This side is 3.5 inches. So that means I could raise this side another 1/8. I'll show you how to do that. Now, this all definitely depends on another thing, you got to have your mower sitting somewhere that wherever the ground is you're sitting is really nice and flat. That's why I'm a little skeptical to try to move that exactly 1/8, because if this concrete had a little tiny dip here and a little tiny dip there, it could be off 1/8. So 1/8 I don't think is really that bad. But I'll try to move this up. This little square here is going to help me do that. I can lay that there and watch it go up 1/8, or lay it over here and watch that go up 1/8. On these decks, right here is the only place that you can change the height of your deck from left to right. So right back here, this is what I'm gonna loosen that bolt right there with the 9/16 of an inch socket, and then this real big one right here is what I got to turn. If you tighten that real big nut there, go clockwise to tighten it, your deck will go up on this side. So this is the only side I can move. I either got to make this go up or down. I'm going to try to go up just a little bit. I got to loosen that. I'm going to cheat. That's a pain to get in there. I don't recommend loosening that all the way up, because if you loosen that all the way up, this whole deck will just go and it's going to fall down to the ground. And it's a pain in the butt. So loosen that a little. Now I'm going to tighten that. My adjustable wrench I think will work better. This deck leveling system on these mowers is a pain in the butt. Just want to tell you that. See it going up? Right there, I think. That's where I'm going to leave it. I want to tighten that. I don't want to loosen that. Sorry if I'm really in your way. That should be good. Another thing I want to show you. What's it look like in the back of this deck? Looks like I'm at 3 3/8. What's it look like over here? See how it looks a little different on the deck. 3 1/4. Now I have my blade tip at about 3 1/2. So if that goes up in 1/2 inch, I have that thing straight across right there. It should be about 3. See, it's so much different. I don't think I should have went up. I think because I moved that blade just that little bit, it changed my measurement a little bit. So really make sure your blades are perpendicular, as straight as you can get them, back and forth when you measure that. So I think I'm going to go back down just a little bit, and then I'll show you how to level it from front to rear. All right, I got my blades what I think are pretty level. Now I want to show you something too. They don't really show this in the manual, but this is what it looks like here at the back of my deck, where it's nice and straight across here. But this looks like about 3 1/4 there. When I measure the back of this deck over here, it's 3 1/4 inches too. So, all right, that might be a way you could level it from left to right. If your deck is not messed up and you didn't bend your deck somehow and it's still in pretty good shape, it really looks to me like you can just measure the back of that deck. Just measure it on the right side, measure on the left side, make sure both of your measurements are really close to the same, and your deck should be pretty level, and hopefully your blades are pretty level underneath. Now it's another thing too, if your blades are bent, like maybe you hit a big rock and you bent one of your blades, you're never going to be able to level your blades out. Now front to back, I think it's the same thing going front to back. You could measure the back of your deck, measure the front of your deck, and the front of your deck should be about a 1/16 to a 1/4 inch lower in the front than the rear of your deck. And that has something to do with like double cutting your grass. You only be cutting the grass in the front of your blades then at the front of your deck, and they won't try to recut them again at the back of the deck. But so keep the front of your deck a little bit lower, 1/16 to a 1/4 inch lower. I've already measured mine. It's about 3 1/4 in the back. So that means the front of my deck should be right around 3. Let's see. And the front of my deck is right around 3 inches. So if you want to go by what the manual says, it says take your blades and make your closest blade to like over there where your chute is, where your grass shoots out, and they want you to put that blade parallel. And we're going to measure that blade the same exact way. You measure the tip of it toward the back, and measure the tip of it toward the front, and the front of that blade should be a 1/16 to a 1/4 inch lower than the back. That's when you could try to use the little piece of wood like I made. All right, you could take this blade and make it parallel, and then I could take my little ruler. Now if you just have a little tiny ruler in your house, you'd probably be fine. So I can measure the tip of that, and it looks like it's right around maybe about 3 1/2 inches. This down. Ooh, 1. I'm raising that 1. Okay, so the front, my front is about 3 inches. So that means it should be about 3 1/4 back here in the back, which is really hard for me to show you. That's why. So 3 inches. It needs to be higher in the back, so 3 1/4. That's why I put marks on the other side of my ruler there, so I can see it better. So that is, 3 1/4. I can see. Yeah, that's really close. All right, you just come to the front of your deck. If I want to raise the front of my deck, first I got to loosen up this. There's 2 3/4 inch nuts right here on the front. This is also if you do have a little square like this, where this would be nice to lay your square back there like that. And I can watch if I want to go up or down 1/4 of an inch or 1/2 inch what you need to go up. But now I could stick my 1/4 inch wrench on there like that, and this one, and I can loosen that. Like that. So you can loosen that one nut. Now I can, if I tighten this, that's going to raise that deck. I think I could raise it just a little. So let me just go up like, let me go up like a 1/16. Yeah, raise that, or tighten that. All right, that's good. Now if you loosen that, it's going to do the opposite. It's going to drop the front of your deck. Then we're going to want to tighten this, tighten that nut back on there. If you want to use a torque wrench on that, it's 57 foot-pounds. I'm just going to tighten that up. I can try to tell you what size that is, just in case you have a socket that size. Let me see, I'll tell you, it's probably about, looks like it's about 1.25 inch nut, that big nut under there. All right, well, I hope this helped you level your deck on your Cub Cadet. Please give this video a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. I love reading all them comments. I try to reply to every comment that I have down there. Hit that subscribe button to help support my channel. I plan on having about 4 videos on this same lawnmower. God bless and have a great summer mowing.